tonight. I really, you know, this place is a volunteer organization, and so without you, it would not function. It wouldn't exist. So thanks. That's why we're doing this.
Need a flashlight, Bill?
No, I'm okay. So I want to. It's incredible to me that I got Scott to dig out some data for us. This year, this past year, there were 3,700 hours logged on the computer by the volunteers from the Bike Library. That's just phenomenal, you know. Yeah, last year we were at 2,600, so we've increased it 1,100 hours. It's just phenomenal. The year before it was 1,400, so we've more than doubled since 2009. Our goal is to get people on bikes, and this year we checked out 237 bicycles to people. So I think that's just incredible. That's a whole lot of people riding bikes in this community that wouldn't have been riding bikes. Plus this year we've kept track of, kind of a little better, the as-is bikes we've sold, and we've sold 100 bikes as is. So that's 350 people that have gotten bikes from us that they're riding in this community. So I think that's just a wonderful, exciting thing. We instituted something that many of you know, is we've raised our deposit a little bit, and because of that we got 94 check-ins this year, which are bikes that we're able to turn out faster to people to be using. So that's a real positive of the way that we're operating. Another thing I wanted to make sure you knew is kind of a secondary goal that comes from the environmental advocates, that's the fiscal sponsor for the Bike Library, is we want to make sure that we minimize the impact of our operation on the earth. And so we work really hard to do that. So one of the things we worked at from the beginning is recycling. This year we took almost 6,000 pounds of metal to be recycled. Last year it was 3,600. That's a huge increase in the amount of metal we took. We took 960 pounds of rubber to be recycled this year. So almost a half a ton of rubber we recycled this year, which I think is just a great thing. We've also continued our relationship with Working Bikes, and this year we sent 250 bikes to Working Bikes. All that stuff would have been stuff in the landfill, and we've done a lot better with it. So that's kind of about the year that was. I also want to talk a little bit about the year that's going to be. We're enormously excited to have Audrey accept our position as an American.
Yeah! Woo! Audrey!
She officially starts Martin Luther King Day. I wrote a note to her boss and said, of course, we're going to give her that day off because it's Martin Luther King Day, my God. So she should have that day off. But I also gave her stuff to do tonight, so we're counting on her help, and we're looking for all kinds of things from her. One is that we're hoping to help all the community, but particularly us, learn more about how to meet our mission, getting more people on bikes. So we're hoping to provide more opportunities for the volunteers to learn skills to be able to fit in at a higher level to help us with that process. Also, I can't help but anticipate that we'll have more open shop hours, more hours that the place will be open and you can come in and work even if you don't have if you aren't a person who has a key to the shop. We're also going to do more advocacy in the community. We're looking to work with Think Bicycling, and I'm excited about the stuff we're talking about there. So be looking for those kinds of things from Audrey. And you know, we were just talking that, you know, the ladies' night, I want to say women's night, ladies' night will be happening, you know, on a more regular basis, and we hope to bring more and more women into the program. Another thing that's been looming since the day we moved into the John Wilson building was that sometime we weren't going to be able to be there forever. And article in the paper in December talking about some stuff happening brought that all to our attention. Also, right about that same time, the former city manager Dale Helling retired and left, And the new guy, Jeff, what's his last name? Fruin, yeah. Contacted Brian and said we needed to talk, and so we had a conversation, and that was all actually turned out pretty good. They wanted some space, and if you've been in the last month or so, you know we've moved all the stock of bikes down to the basement, so they've got the space they need, and we anticipate that we will have access to the building in the Carnation that we've known it for at least through the summer. But on the other hand, it's also motivated some of us to doing some noodling around and looking and talking, and we have just today I've had a conversation with Tim Dwight, who owns a building up here at 710 South Dubuque Street, just south of the tracks, where the old Spoke and Ski used to be in there, and there's a weightlifting thing in the dance studio and stuff. Well, the basement of that building is not being used, and it's quite capacious, and he is very interested in working with us to allow us to use that building. So we've set up a meeting. He and Brian are going to meet later in the month when Tim gets back from all. Yeah, I don't know if any of you know Tim, but he's always on the go. And he's calling me from the Denver airport, you know, and he's going to be, you know, but so he's going to be back in town. So it's not a done deal yet, but we're anticipating that we're going to have a good positive move into a new space before we actually get thrown out of the old one that has to get torn down. So I think it's going to be another great year, and I think this is just a great outfit. We've got lots of food in there for you. Help yourself. We've got some beer coming. We intended to give you a beer or two, and then if you want more than that, you're welcome to pick up your own tab and buy some beer. But, you know, we want everybody to have a good time, and we really appreciate the work you've done. Is there anybody else that feels like they want to say things? Yeah, good.
I'll just say a couple of things, and it's going to be extemporary.
Oh, I have another one.
Wait.
Yep, I know, but I need, don't. The light went off on my.
Go ahead.
Well, another thing that we've brought back on just at the end of the year was our relationship with Hope House. Brad Eaton, who many of you may have not met, has volunteered to take that on, and we did, I guess, 3 Sundays in December, and we got 15-20 bikes that the guys from Hope House got fixed up, and we got to the domestic violence project, and they got out the kids over the holidays, so we feel really good about that. And
all right.
And that's going to continue on. Brad's willing to continue on with me as help, but I'm so intermittent. Like, I'm going to take off right away. So it would be wonderful if some of you would volunteer to come in and back him up on Sundays. So it's Sunday from 10 to 1. All of you have enough experience with the place to be really helpful. If somebody to just say, the rags are over there, because there's people that have never been in the shop. You don't have to be really skilled. You can just come in and help out, and that would be great, so he's not in there by himself.
So is this an official sign-up thing, or do we just show up if we've got time on Sunday?
I guess I'd like you to contact Brad or me, and we'll arrange it, because we don't want to waste your time and have 5 people when we really, you know, I think 1 or 2 is plenty to help Brad. He's got the skills, and it's a wonderful program, and these guys just love it. They just eat it up, and they feel really good about the skills they're learning and about what they're doing and about the whole climate. It's a great thing. You're on, Brian.
So I wanted to say basically that you know, and I've probably told some version of the story to all of you at some point, but you know, when I started this project, it was really just